Founded in 1982, Food for the Poor Jamaica is the largest charity organization in the country and exists under the mandate of providing for the less fortunate.
Food for the Poor is based on Matthew 25, verse 40. As you do for my brothers and sisters, you have done for me. Each person that is out there that has a need, we try to see how best we can fulfill that need. We are here to help, not just to give persons material stuff, but also to see how we can help them spiritually. So we have the churches that work along with us. We have 5 ministries that we focus on here. We have housing, agriculture, fishery, we have healthcare, and we have education. We have in 2014 brought in over 827 shipments with school supplies, medical equipment, agriculture equipment, you name it, we have done it all, and we are here to help every person that has a need. We have a major impact here at Food for the Poor. We do a lot for Jamaica. We have built over 38,000 homes since we started here at Food for the Poor. We build at least 1,000 homes per year. And when you think about that, you're not going to do a ratio of saying 1 person to a home. You're looking at 4 to 5 persons living in one home. So you know the change that you're making in somebody's life.
As a social officer, I work with individual cases, media cases, and also communities. All the cases that I do, it takes me to 14 parishes of Jamaica. And I travel out from phone calls that we get, letters that we got, emails, whatever the source that we get all these complaints from. I'll go out and do my investigations, do the assessment on the cases, and then back to see how best we assist those individuals. Food for the Poor does help the poorest of the poor, and I think I fall in that category as someone who is willing to serve in that category. Seeing the desperate and the destitute cases out there and having that great passion within me to help those people, I think I go a long way to see that they are assisted. And whatever it takes here at Food for the Poor, they are assisted. Housing, clothing, food, just about anything. Education, because that's a part of it. Provide an income generating activity, that also is a part of it. You give a person a house, but then a house is not all. We need them to sustain the family, to ensure that there's an income that can help to send the children to school and to keep them going, that they don't have to depend on Food for the Poor. So we sort of give them an independence to carry through.
The Jamaican people, once you give them an opportunity to start to do something, then they'll try to help themselves. So my hope is that we can empower them. If you're talking about really helping from a humane perspective, and you're talking about a program, a community that is real in dire need, this is that kind of a community.
Lord, if you could help me to get out of this situation, because it is very hard and it is very tough, and the kids them been through enough already and them cannot take it anymore. Yeah, when the rain falls, if the water come up through this, but because there is no foundation, it is not on any foundation. The water blows through here and come through here and wet up the whole place more time.
Life not pretty. We're not working because we don't have a job. Only God we have to call to provide something for us.
It is a challenge because we have to go out and try to make life for ourselves. I leave them to the one bed and I lay down on the floor with a piece of sponge.
Jesus Christ, we ask in you, God, to guide them on the way going and on the way coming, and everything they do, we leave it in your hand, Lord. No more we can do. The night when I lose my house, I was at church, and it was terrible to me. I get so shocked, but I still keep up because God, each time I walk, I see God before me. I have God in my thoughts all the while. It's mean a big, great things to me, and I'm proud of it. I'm telling you, I'm very proud of it.
And we believe once you get people empowered, they'll be able to help others. And once that has happened, then they try in turn to clean up their surrounding. And you've seen their attitude change because many of these people come to our church and are members of our church. They dress different. They start to relate to each other different because they see that, listen, somebody cares for us.
Coming up on Caring Hands.
This is Cleveland Clark, a beneficiary of one of the houses provided by Food for the Poor. For him, this is indeed life-changing.
I live at Fairfield Road for the past 7 years now, right? And I have my 3 kids. And I'm telling you, for the 7 years I go through roughness, because we have in that house, rainfall, water wet up inside there, everywhere. And at nights, when the rain falls, 4 of us on the bed, wet. So some have to sleep on the ground, especially me. My kids have to sleep on the bed. I have to lean up the bed at the window side, catch water. I have to set the pan to catch water inside the house there. And I'm telling you, I live a rough life there for the past 7 years. And I get in touch with Food for the Poor, and they tell me the requirement, what I have to do, get a letter from the church that I attend, get JP to sign it and whatsoever, and I bring it back to them. And it have to take a while to get the house. And a lady that come there named Miss Brown, she come and she assists me, and she tell me what to do, right? And she say what the condition that I live in. Where I live, the house was in a terrible condition, and Food for the Poor assist me and help me. I have to thank Miss Brown, Miss Walker, the people who assist me, the workmen them who came there, put up the structure, put up the foundation. I have to thank them, they treat me good. And my kids them, when they see the house, they were so happy. Even my daughter, she's 17 years old and couldn't invite none of her friends where we live because the condition of the house. And she said, Daddy, this is when you're going to get a new house. And I have to say to her, Celine, we have to pray one day my dream come true, that Food for the Poor can help us. My dream had come true and we get help, and they were so happy. I was at the clinic one day and I heard my phone ring. And I heard a gentleman say, you are Mr. Cleveland Clark? And I said, yes, we are here to deliver a septic tank and a water tank. And my God, I was so glad, I feel happy. And I reach home and I tell my daughter that Food for the Poor called me and I'm going to put up the house and the structure. She was so happy. Even when rain falls, they sleep good inside there, right? We didn't even know when it's daylight. We didn't even know when it's daylight, because the first house that we live inside there, as daylight, you can stay inside and see through the walls, right? But the new one now, you cannot see when daylight out, right? Because India is so close up.
He sustains his family through farming.
It's just a small farm where I can plant my banana, I plant my cane, because sometimes when I don't have it, you know, sometimes Food for the Poor will call me and say, Mr. Clark, you can come for some stuff and whatsoever. And sometimes the farming help me and my kids.
Not only does Food for the Poor supply food and housing supplies, they also work with prisoners through their prison ministry program.
Our founder, who is Ferdinand Mafood, has a very soft spot for the prisons because he feels that, you know, you make a mistake, which all of us do, you go to prison, and a lot of times when you come out, nobody wants to help you because you've been to prison. So that's why we're here, so that when they come out from prison after doing whatever happens, we are here to help them to start back their life. We go into the prisons to find out what is needed, like if they need sewing machines for their classes, if they need computers, if they need TVs, food, beds, mattresses. We give all the mattresses to the prisons. Basically, those kind of things that we help them with. When they're going to be released from prison, the superintendent will send us a letter. That's if you want us to help you, because they'll go to the superintendent and say, can you send Food for the Poor letter? So a letter will come with their name and whatever, their address, if they have an address. And then they'll call us when they go home. And once they go home, they'll call us and make an appointment to come and see us. Now, if they're in the Spanish Town, Kingston area, we'll see them face to face. If they're out of town, we interview them on the phone. And in the interview, we see how best we can help them to get their life back together. Like, say they want to grow chickens, so we help them with the chicken and the feed. We don't do the coops. They have to do the coops themselves. Or if they want a bushwhacker so they can start landscaping, we help them with the bushwhacker and the cutlass and whatever they need. If they are a welder, we give them a welding machine. If they're a tiler, we give them the equipment to help them with the tiling. If they're a carpenter, we give them the carpenter tools. I've been here 16 years and I have never found any other guys or women that have been rude. As a matter of fact, I find them the nicest people, nicer than the people that are outside. Because I always say to the superintendent, just open the gate and let them out. Why have these people in here? He said, well, they're in here is a different story when you meet them on the road. It's always that joke, but I don't find them bad people. And the thing is, if they speak to you and they tell you what they do, and they'll say why they do it, and you think to yourself, well, if I was in that position, it probably would happen to me as well. And if they say they don't do it, they haven't done it. A lot of time, you have to understand circumstance and things, and they get set up, and so you have to take their stories and believe them.
Coming up on Caring Hands.
The ABC project is agriculture, beekeeping, and chicken rearing project. So it's 3 different projects in one. And that is managed by 4 people, myself and 3 other members of the group. And we are all from the Jakes Road community. The project started a few years ago. It's an ongoing project with some of the group members receiving assistance from Food for the Poor in terms of pig rearing. That started and went for a period of time, but the lack of knowledge, it didn't went too far. So we came back to Food for the Poor and we sat down with Ms. Ramsey, who was the initial person who had introduced the program to them. And we were advised to do a bee training session. We went and did that session and passed through that and came back to Food for the Poor, and they had offered us now to begin honey production. and chicken rearing. After the training, we came back and sit down and discuss further additional assistance, because there are 4 members in the group. The beekeeping would not have sufficed any form of assistance in terms of monetary or stabilizing to the lives of the members. We developed 2 other programs, which is chicken rearing and a vegetable farm. We were introduced to the agriculture department by Mrs. Ramsey, and from there we started the ABC project. Food for the Poor have been very generous. They have sponsored the chicken rearing program with $187,000 and change, to be exact, for the building of the chicken pen. We erected a large chicken pen. Took us some time because we know nothing much about building anything, and we got through with that, and the chicken was delivered to us. That in itself was a success. We have completed the first phase of that, which we have raised over 300 chicken, processed and sold them, and are now waiting to move to the next phase. The beekeeping side of it is still in development, which the bees are on site now for the past few months, and we are now going into productive stage of the honey, where we are now souping up the hives, you know, to produce large quantity of honey right now. The farming on the other side, that is still in its young stage. It's not a large farm because we have reduced the one that we had just to a small area to just be able to monitor it more. And that now is the next phase that we'll be looking at after we have finished with the bee section.
What I'm going to do is call servicing. I'm going to check if the queen is still in the box. Yeah, from you see the activity, the youths, the young one, you can know that she's around. This is called a queen excluder. This keeps the queen into the nursery that she cannot forward and lay egg into the honey. So this separates the queen from the honey.
It's a good feeling, and I can speak also for the rest of our members in the group, because they themselves have grown from one stage. What had happened now is that the commitment, because it's not the first they have tried to assist and the program has stalled, but the commitment now that everybody had put in really see us in a very good place now, right? So they themselves are in a good place going forward, because it's now in a structured manner, and in probably a next year or so, the program itself can start to generate enough income if we stay on this part. But it's a good feeling for everybody. To Food for the Poor, on behalf of all the members in the groups, a big thank you. Now, we could not have gotten anywhere without the assistance of Food for the Poor. So for us, the group members, we're saying to Food for the Poor, thank you, thank you, thank you. For anybody out there who are going to be getting any assistance and who have gotten any assistance, just treat it with respect and be diligent in the way how you handle it, because it is valuable. It's valuable assistance, and it's coming from people who care, and they really want to see you achieve from this assistance.